Griffin Newman! Yeah! That was fucking awesome. That song is so loaded with meaning, but he nailed it. It was really awesome. Yeah. When we were all thinking about what Mom and Dad Rock meant to us, this is a little behind the scenes magic for you all.
Yeah.
We started talking, and the first thing that came to my mind is Cars. It's weird that Griffin was talking about that.
The Pixar movie from 2006.
Actually, Cars 2 is what I meant to say.
His father is Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, jokes.
Now you know his occupation too. I thought that was his secret. In any case, I thought about Cars a lot because my most salient memories of Mom and Dad Rock happened in Cars. Because when I was a kid, we were not allowed to control the music that was in the car. The driver would control it. So when I was really young, we were subjected to whatever music that my parents wanted to play. And for the most part, it was like the Beatles, or like Wilson Phillips, Hold On for One More Day, like on repeat. My mom was obsessed with that song. But the weirdest stuff happened in my dad's car, because he was the one that decided that the car was the place to have very serious talks with me about very serious things, because I was trapped.
It's actually interesting that you got to listen to music in the car. Because when I was a child, when my dad was driving, which was always, we were not allowed to listen to music at all. There was no music. There were two things we could do while we were in the car when I was a kid. It was either sing Jewish songs, which or
what do you mean by Jewish songs? Like dreidel? Or like a Hebrew rock artist?
As you may know, a lot of a young Jew's life is shuttling to and from Hebrew school. So it was mostly what I'd learned that day. And then the other thing was to play card games, which you guys everyone plays card games, always. And one of the card games we always played was Find the Letter, which was just finding letters.
Seems like you've given up at that point.
It's just find the letters of the license plates, and you just go, A, I found an A over there, and B, and I found a B.
That's bingo. That's like a real game. That's like bingo. It's like license plate bingo.
That's not bingo at all.
Bingo is like a whole big thing, and they pull all the balls out of
Not like car bingo.
Also a dog.
They haven't made a portable thing that you turn. Anyway, I thought that was license plate bingo.
But I would always just try and find dirty words on licenses. Because there's a surprising amount of combinations of the word dick on licenses.
I'm surprised.
D-I-Q, D-Q...
You were a very imaginative child.
D-C-K, D-K-Q. Anything with a D and a Q in it.
You were just like seeing dicks where there are no dicks.
Yeah. I was puberty.
Fair enough. That's all you have to say.
Wait a minute.
Fair enough. That's all you have to say.
That came out too fast. Like puberty. Hey.
That's fair.
We play a lot of card games. We did listen to a lot of music, and my mom still does this thing where, so for example, a classic in my mom's car is the Les Mis soundtrack, and she's like, "Should we help them?" I'm like, "We should help them," and then we sing all the parts. My family, a lot of us have like weird, like quirky fears or like weird things that make us cry, and my family is like very like indulgent of these things. Like I'm afraid of olives. Like I just
to the point of crying.
It's happened. And rather than be like, "Margaret, get a grip," my parents are like, "Oh no, don't put the olives near Margaret." Like very
totally
indulgent
enabled you on that one.
So when we were kids, my parents like a lot of oldies or whatever, and the Forrest Gump soundtrack was a mainstay for a while. But the song "Turn, Turn, Turn" makes my little sister cry because of the part where they say we have a time to die.
Yeah.
She finds it like really upsetting.
You don't want to challenge your own mortality.
You know that there are like 300,000 better songs written about death.
But it was just that it's right there. They say it explicitly. So of course my older sister and I were like, "That's our favorite song." We listen to that every day, and it's like, just fast forward when it gets to that part, and my mom would be like, "Oh, I guess," and then like, of course not. Like it's hard to listen for that exact lyric. The song is incredibly repetitive. Luckily, the song that makes
There's so many times in that song. There's a time for everything.
Thanks, Ecclesiastes. Degree in religion doesn't pay for itself.
Welcome to the Jukebox.
Luckily, the song that makes me cry almost never comes up in the car, which is
Oh my god, are you serious?
She's joking up.
It's Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Oh my god. And you're half Jewish.
My grandma lives with us. Like, I cannot bear this song at all. So luckily, that's not on the Forrest Gump soundtrack.
Oh my god. I had no idea that song. I shouldn't sing it to you every time I see you. Now I know. This is education.
We will be doing that at the next Jukebox.
Exactly.
Turn. Grammar, whatever. That one.
I think I'm gonna clear.
Speaking of grandmas, actually, the one thing I wanted to say about the fact that my dad chose the car to have very serious conversations is that he would, like, turn down the music a little bit, wait a couple seconds to, like, steel himself, and then have the conversation. And one of the conversations that we had was about the fact that my great-grandma could no longer live by herself. She was going to be put into, like, a special care facility, and there was klezmer music playing in the background.
Do you remember what song it was?
I think it was Jerusalem of Gold.
Yeah.
We were like,
I love that one.
I'm just astonished that the two of you guys can distinguish between klezmer songs.
Oh yeah, it's all in the clarinet.
Oh yeah.
It's all in the clarinet.
I mean, there's my kepi is a punam. There's
Yeah.
I thought it was like Mary
there's Jubishvat, no Yubishvat. There's all sorts of different klezmer classics. You're half Jewish.
You know, I mean, once you've heard one Klezmaniacs album, you just know deep down it'll never be the same again.
So I can't listen to klezmer music anymore, obviously, because I think about my great.
Which, as his roommate, is awesome.
It's true. I don't listen.
Yeah.
But there are a couple of weird juxtapositions that happened. One time, I think I was like 16. My dad was listening to a Dixie Chicks mix that he made for himself. Yeah, I know. And he turned it down, and he, like, steals himself. He's, like, ready to have this very serious conversation. I think I was coming home from, like, a friend's house or something. And he was like, "So, Steve, do you know how to put on a condom?" But the thing was, I was so embarrassed that he would ask me that I thought it would be better to respond this way. I was like, "Of course I know, Dad. Plus, I'm saving myself for marriage." I thought it would be better to pretend like I was, like, to put that out there. Like, "No, Dad, I'm not even gonna have sex, so fuck you." And then I stared out the window with more intensity than I've ever stared at anything in my entire life.
And he was never prouder than you in that moment.
My dad was so emasculated. He changed it to the klezmer. But this is the ultimate story of that, is that when I was 11 years old, my dad was listening to this one very particular song that I will never be able to listen to again. And it's like the weirdest, most oddly juxtapositionatory song. Margaret used a big word. I'm going to use a big word.
Nope, you used a big one too.
Yeah. So he decided that this was the time to turn on the music and very seriously give me the sex talk. And I was not prepared for this at all. But the funny thing is, the song that was playing was a cover, a really shitty cover, of another song. Kind of makes a lot of sense if you think about it. This was literally the song that I heard when I had the sex talk in the car. I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. This is a cover. Wet, Wet, Wet is the singer. Love is all around me, and so the feeling grows. In my dick. It's written in the wind. It's everywhere I go. Oh, yes it is. So if you really love me, come on and let it show. Oh, you know I love you, I always will. My mind's made up by the So thank you, Dad, wherever you are. I see your face before me as I lay on my bed. I kinda get to thinking of all the things you said. Oh, yes, I do. You gave your promise to me, and I gave mine to you. Yeah, promise rings. I need someone beside me in everything I do. Oh, yes, I do. You know I love you, I always will. My heart's made up by the way that I feel. There's no beginning, there'll be no end. 'Cause on my love, you can depend. Yeah, baby, you gotta keep it moving. Ooh, it's written in the wind. Oh, it's everywhere I go. Yeah, ooh, yeah. 'Cause if you really love me, love me, love me, come on and let it show. Whoa, come on and let it, come on and let it, yeah, let it show. I didn't practice this before. Come on and let it, yeah, let it show. I really put it on kind of. Come on and let it show. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know we did a jukebox that was love-making mixes, and I'm gonna add that to it now.